weird that you're already back in the groove of everything? Just feels kind of quick turnaround, I guess, from last season already?
Extremely. I was telling the girls the other day at first practice, I can't believe we're here already. It just seems like we got off the bus from Springfield. So it's good to get back in there. The girls are pretty energetic about it. But, yeah, it was a quick turnaround to me. Again, I'm the baseball coach, so right after baseball, I think it ended May 20th. Open gym basketball started May 24th. So it's just right back into it.
What year is this now?
7 for me. I was assistant for 2. This is my 7th as a head coach.
What keeps you going?
The kids, just the energy and just to see them that have fun. I'm serious about that because, again, I look back at last year when, we lost, but at the Misha interviewing process, they're all smiling and laughing. That keeps me going. Wins and losses, not really. I hate to say this, I could care less how many we've won. I just like to see these kids and just relationships they're having. Just enjoy the game, enjoy each other. So it's fun. I just have fun with it still. They keep me young, so that's a good part too.
Were you surprised how they reacted to, I guess, even not getting the first play? Like you said, they're smiling and laughing.
Absolutely.
Because, most kids are angry if things don't go right. And, everybody is, I guess, really, kind of in that sense.
Oh, you're right. Because I think one of them, the interviewers asked Jill about, well, what'd you think about this? And Jill looked over at me and she says, well, I didn't think we were going to make it this far. Well, thanks, Jill. But it's just kind of how they thought. I think the year previous we didn't make it for that final game. So this was one goal to get to the Final Four. So we actually, I think, went a little farther than we maybe even expected because we knew Skyline was going to be in our way, but they got beat by Nellyville. So I just appreciate how much, again, when you're playing in March, they're still having fun. And now if you saw I don't think you guys were on the news when they're over on the bench doing the dap and everything like that. That's during the game of the Final Four. And, we luckily had a good lead. And I didn't even know they were doing it. But to me,
if you did would have known, you probably would have been in a different case.
It was like, hey, calm it down a little bit,
right.
Maybe. But yeah, that's what it's about. Those memories like that. Like I said, the getting second state. It's important to our school and our kids. But that memory sticks in my mind.
You were here for the 0-21 to now.
Yes, sir.
Well, obviously, the cliches are there's huge difference and everything like that, but was there a lot of personality differences from there to there, or just kind of – because, it's hard for kids when it's 0-21 to get up every day and keep doing that. But could you kind of feel things shifting, I guess, or going in the right direction?
Yeah, even at 0-21, they played hard. Again, it's a cliche. And it's hard to play hard when you're scoring 7 points a game, but you're still out there diving on loose balls. So even at 0-21, they're kind of building the foundation of what we were wanting. Because I had 12 girls total. 4 of them went on a senior trip one time for a visit, so practice. I had 6 girls total. It was just different. But the 0-21 team, I really enjoyed them. I kept coaching. No, I didn't care. I didn't even look at the scoreboard. I told them, don't even look at the scoreboard. Just keep working hard. Understand the process and just keep working. So I think the girls, the younger ones that saw those seniors that went through this, it probably helped them thinking, man, look at these girls out here diving on floors and they're down by 30-some points. So I think that was a good thing. The 0-21, again, they're just good girls that played basketball, but the culture changed to girls that were basketball players. So that helped too, because there is a difference. You can say all you want about coaching. You got to have some athletes to be successful. You can only coach so much. You got to have some girls that have some talent and knowledge of the game.
You talk about that. It's the cliche that we all kind of hear that, you can get people to do the right things. But at the same time, you've learned that, like you said, there's got to be some pieces in place for it to actually work out.
Sure. And again, I go back to the 4 seniors that graduated last year. The weight program started off with Jill Rumpf, and it went from like her to 2 other girls to 25 in the summer. So that changed that too. But the girls started figuring out when you start getting successful, they're thinking, oh, this weight program does work. So they start buying into it. Again, if you got to get them to buy what you're selling, because if you're not getting results, they're going to say this isn't worth it. So why do it? So just changing that attitude and stuff. And again, that 4 seniors and, you know, the ones before her, they just brought a basketball knowledge that I don't think some of the girls lacked. You know, good athletes, but they didn't have a basketball mentality like some of our team in the past has.
We've talked about Jill quite a bit just
Yes.
throughout. I mean, that's part of what it is, because 2,000 points. But you won't hear her talking about it. And you said she was one of the first ones to go into the weight room.
Yeah.
Was she vocal about getting other people in, or did they just watch her go in there and it's kind of a monkey see, monkey do?
A little both. You know, she would kind of dig at sarcastic, hey, I didn't see you at the gym today. Why weren't you here this morning? But she would just kind of lead by example. Every morning, 6 o'clock. You know, she just led by example. And, again, they saw the results from her. So they're thinking, you know, less injuries. You jump higher. You're a little stronger. You don't get knocked down as much. You just feel better about yourself. But Jill's just more of a leader by example than vocal, and she's always been that way. No matter how much I try to change her and say, you need to be vocal as a point guard, it's just not her. And that's okay. It's worked out. The team I have this year, there's not a lot of vocal leadership again, but I can live with it as long as we get results, I guess.
How do you balance that? I mean, most teams will have one or two vocal.
Yeah.
Last year, the year before, there wasn't. I mean, they were excited, like they would do the dab stuff on the side.
Sure.
But there wasn't the vocal direct traffic. Jill would just kind of do it silently. But I mean, how do you balance that? As long as the results are there, you get the vocal, or can you make someone into the vocal leader in your experience?
I haven't had much success with it, to be honest with you. I've tried. You know, Bradley Kemper's going to be one of our vocal leaders this year, but she has a coaching mentality because she comes from a coach's daughter. So she knows how to constructively criticize without being personal, and the girls understand that. So it's just they feed off each other. And again, a lot of it's not vocal. I'm going to make an analogy of last year, and I'm not going to say we played a team in St. Joe that they struggled. We were up by 30-some points, okay? There was a loose ball on the floor. All my girls dove on it. There's only like 4 seconds left in the game. And that coach looked at her girl and said, look at that. They're up by 30. There's 4 seconds left in the game, and they're still diving on a ball. You were just standing there looking at it. That's what the culture I want. That's something I don't teach. Now, somehow they've got them in themselves. We do some toughness drills, but a lot of this they're just athletes that want to compete, and they do that on their own. We have a foreign exchange student this year who's never played basketball before. First practice, I said, I want effort. And she looks at me and she goes, what's effort? Now, have you ever tried to define effort? That wasn't the easiest thing to do. So I just brought up the loose ball analogy because, you know, it's just something that, you know, then I had a coach this other day go, what drill can I do to teach effort? That's something we can't really coach. There's some drills, but that's got to be something that comes from them a little bit. Yesterday at practice, we had a bad practice on Monday. So yesterday at practice, I said, why do we have to give a consequence? We have a goal to make so many shots in a 5-minute span. If you don't make that goal, I threaten you with a drill called whistle stops, which is horrible. And all of a sudden, your energy picks up, you make the goal, and you beat it by 10. You as an athlete should need that motivation. It should be intrinsic where you want to do that goal without being a consequence. That's what I'm trying to get the girls to understand. It's you. Do it on your own without us having to tell you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 And to me, that separates the superior athlete to the great athletes.
But you talk about the effort thing, and just talking to coaches and everything, even in passing. I graduated 2011 to now, and I've noticed it. Is it harder to get kids to buy in, or are you still having even baseball for that matter?
Sure.
Getting kids to buy in this, for whatever reason, things have shifted a little bit.
This generation is different. I've had to change some of my old school coaching philosophy. I've only done this for 8 years, so I'm learning all the time too. I think some of the older coaches that have done this for a long time are having a hard time because the kids, not all, react differently to discipline or really hard practices, I believe. So we try to find a way in the middle to meet and get them to compete and work for you, but also maybe play music or just something. You have to kind of get them to enjoy it a little bit more, that it's not a job for them. Because unfortunately, in a lot of today's society, the kids, they don't want to work. They just want to give them the prize.
Right.
So we try to instill in our girls that you got to do more, you know. But we try to meet them. I can be hard at times, but I'm pretty patient. And I've already been told by my wife and other people that I'm too patient sometimes, and I should be harder. So that's why I got Coach Kendrick. Let him be the bad cop, and I'm the good cop, I guess.
This is, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, we'll go there, I guess,
Okay.
for a second. What is that dynamic like for you guys? Because, this is what, year number two?
For him.
Yeah. What has that dynamic been like? Because I've seen him on the sides. Just
Yeah.
kind of,
He's
it's like Jekyll and Hyde a little
yeah,
bit.
great coach.
You can be the good guy all the time.
Pretty much.
For the most part,
I have
yeah.
my moments.
Yeah.
He's been awesome. Again, he's a grad assistant at Missouri Southern, so he has a lot more probably knowledge in the game than I do by far. But having that second voice over there, sometimes a rather loud voice, is awesome because the girls respond to him very much so. He does get a little irritated over there, but it's in a way that he's trying to just push them to the best. I'm the walker on the sideline. I'm trying to think of plays ahead. He's the one that's kind of being the disciplinary that's, you know, we'll get in your stuff if you're not doing something correct. He's helped me with subs a whole bunch because at the pace we play, and I'm caught up in other things, he'll say, hey, good time for rotation. Now, last year's our first year together. It was a little different because I wasn't – the previous coaches, great ladies that helped me. I mean, they were very good, but I wasn't getting a lot of input. So everything was kind of on me, like game situation, subs and everything. So when he and I got together and started coaching, I wasn't used to when I called a timeout and another voice in there talking.
Right,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I kind of looked at him like, what are you doing? But then
This is my huddle. What are you doing? Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, this is my
hey, I'm
huddle.
head coach here.
Yeah.
And he has been a head coach, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a dynamic that you can tell he wants to put in a lot, but he allows me to be the head coach. And I know that's difficult because he sees things that I'm sure I don't. I just got to tell you a story, but he's a very data guy. He's marking possessions, and I'm just watching stuff. And somebody was scored like 6 points in a row on us. And he's looking at his clipboard going, got to get timeout, coach. Got to get timeout, coach. And I'm like, I said, I just wouldn't look at him. I'm going to leave it alone. Well, that team scored another. And we and I looked at him and I stood right in front of him. I yelled as loud as I could, timeout. And I stared at him. I said, are you happy now? He goes, yep. And we stood up. It was just one of those moments. It's our first little clash, you know.
Right.
But we're coaches, we're adults. We understand that dynamic is going to happen. But it was just like one of those moments I said, time out. I said, are you happy? But yeah, and I understand what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not a guy. It's just the flow of the game, I could tell that we're going to be all right. Just get through this little wave, you know. But yeah, that was just one of those funny moments that he and I, but we go scouting together. Again, he's writing stuff down and drawing stuff, and I'm drawing stuff, and it's just been a good connection, very good for us both.
You talk about this is 8th year head coach.
Yes.
Yeah. You started coaching kind of later.
I did.
And I guess what got you to want to, I guess, go this avenue and just tackle high school coaching?
You know, I don't know if you know my story. I went to college to play baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which I didn't get a degree the first time because I was an idiot and went there to play baseball only. So I didn't even think about coaching or being a teacher. I
Right.
did some other jobs, worked for FedEx for 18 years, lost my job. I thought, what am I going to do now at 48 years old? I thought, I'm going to go back to college. So I did, got my degree. So I got a PE degree, and things just fell in place, you know. And this job opened here where I graduated from here back in '79. The PE position opened up, assistant coach opened up. It's just been, things have been put in place for me, and it's been nice. I was horrible in basketball in high school. I was scared of the ball. Don't throw that thing to me. So this is kind of just odd to me that I'm a head basketball coach, knowing that I wasn't the best basketball player, but I always gave effort.
Right.
That's one thing I do give the girls, and how to be about failure. That's my thing about life and failure, about how to deal with failure and adversity. That's what I bring to these girls. Again, I'm not an XOs guy. I can do things a little bit. I'm not an expert by no means. Trust me. I'm going to clinics all the time to learn new things. So for me to be in this position, it's must have been God, because I can't even figure out why I'm here. But it's awesome. If FedEx, sorry, that's who I lost my job with.
Right.
If they'd call me back and say, "What's your job?" I'd say no, even though it's 30,000 less a year. Enjoy it. So.
You talk about going back to school.
Yeah.
People do it for whatever reason, like
Mhm.
you said. Why was it teaching, or why education? Because I mean, it could be anything, business.
Okay.
What drew it to that for you?
I'm glad you asked, because the reason I went back, I look about when I was a college athlete. You notice I said college athlete, not student athlete.
That's a term that I'm really kind of
Okay.
shaky with.
I went to college to play baseball.
Right.
My first semester, now I had a horrible advisor. I got 19 hours the first semester, which I didn't have any clue about. Oh, that's bad or good.
Right.
Had work study, had baseball, got on academic probation first year, 1.9 GPA, ecstatic about that.
Yeah.
But again, I went for the wrong reasons. So when I went back to Mo West, I wanted to get a counseling degree to be a counselor, but I had to get a degree first, and PE was my closest avenue to begin my certificate because of the 4 years I did previously. So my thing was to get that, get my degree, become a counselor. So I went to Northwest to get counseling for the reason of to go back to talk to student athletes and tell them, don't do it the way I did. Go to school, get your degree. I look at, gosh, I was up there 48 years old, and I got classes with 18-year-olds, like Drew Newhart, because I had classes with his dad back in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah, is this telling you aging me here?
Yeah.
Right, I had them both.
I wasn't going to age you, but
I had them both, But not Drew, but there were some athletes, football players and basketball players. I talked to them about that, about get your degree, and that's why I got into the education, is to try to help student athletes become students first. Because right now at 57 years old, I'm probably, if I would have done it right the first time, pretty close to retirement. But hey, look how young this is keeping me, right? And all the hair I have.
Well, my hair, I'm losing by 30. I got 4 years left.
Yeah, but that's why I went back to college, to help young kids become student athletes, not athlete students. I learned.
You bring up the student athlete term,
Mhm.
and when we do stories, I don't say the student athlete
Okay.
term just because part of me has an issue with it, but that's probably a long discussion for something else.
Some other day.
Not so much on the Division II level or Division
Okay.
III, but I mean, you talked about. I mean, they're going to play a sport. I mean,
Yes,
they're
sir.
going to get their. For the most part, a lot of kids, or some of the kids I talk to, are going to get both. But you can still get that sense that there's more here, where
Mhm.
the expectations are more on the athletic side.
Sure.
Is that something that you even still notice too? 'Cause, I mean, I know the kids that will go to class all day. They'll go to weights. They'll go to class, and they'll get everything done.
Sure.
But I mean, they're exhausted by the end of the day. But I guess they sign up for it.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, it's one of those weird things where you can't, especially at the small school level, you can't pay them to do
Right.
anything like this.
Right.
I mean, they get the scholarship money and they get
Mhm.
everything, but there seems to be an imbalance almost in a lot of ways for a lot of the kids too.
It's just, I hate to say it's shame on some of the coaches in college that allow this to even happen, but it's a business.
Right.
They're going to get the best athlete first, and then they'll try to create them to be a student. That's my opinion.
Right.
They're doing that for a reason. Now they'll try to send them to tutors or maybe send them to a junior college first to get their GP up, and then they'll send them to.
Right.
I-
I don't think it's so much a
It's-
Division II, Division III issue, but it's a Division
Yeah.
I all the way.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the signing days. I mean, you guys have signings
Yeah,
here, but
yeah.
I mean, it's fun for the kids, and
Mhm.
they'll either make it or they'll decide I don't want to do this at all,
Sure.
and they're out, which is fine either way. I mean, the national signing days, ESPN will have the Division I recruit.
Mhm.
There was a guy, one of the I think Missouri beat writers, said, "I'm really excited. I'm sitting around Twitter all day looking to see where this guy's going to commit to go play basketball." And it's like that's what it's come down to.
It sure has.
And that's where I'm guilty of it. We sit around waiting
Yeah,
all day to
yeah.
see what's going to happen with an athlete or something. But yeah, it's a business, especially at Division I level. To me, it feels
Yeah.
like that way anyway.
Now I hate to say like Donald Trump here, but do you think the media has caused some of this? Because you're there, and You know, you've
I think so.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of blame to throw around on this one. Like you said, the coaches, they have a job to do.
sure
The university is expecting you to have the best product out there. You get paid for it. So if you don't perform, you're fired.
You're
and
gone.
The coaching carousel, Division I especially, is going constantly. Kids are traveling with AAU teams or whatever it is, and they're in the gym 365,
Yes,
or
they
they're
are.
lifting 365 from ages. I know there's kids 8 years old and maybe younger
Yes.
going. And there's kids getting offered scholarships or verbals that's eighth graders and
Eighth grade.
freshman year. And then we're all, media-wise, we're all just gathering it all in, taking it all in, like, hey, here's what's going on now. This eighth grader is being offered a Division I basketball scholarship. Why? I don't know, but, it's kind of a cool thing to see. But then, like you said, there's a attention to it.
Yeah.
We've turned it into that multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry, basically.
Yeah. You understand that, like, the percentage of actually people who go on to play even college sports or even pro, it's minimal.
Right.
But again, I'm not make parents mad, but I blame the parents for putting
Yeah.
so much emphasis on the sport and not the education. Because either injury, something could happen to you. So don't put
Right.
all your eggs in the sports. Get your education, have a backup plan. Have a plan B. Plan A is wonderful. Have that plan B education-wise because, again, that's what's going to pay your bills in the long run. It's not going to be just things happen. I'm just saying, get your education first, please. Again, I'm a person that's gone through it. It's worked out for me, so I'm blessed.
And like you said, it worked out for you. There's guys or kids that I know that my age or older went to play sports. They got a year in, and holy cow, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's work.
They drop out.
Yes, sir.
They're done.
Yeah.
They haven't decided to do anything else since then. But you kind of, is that what you almost preach to your teams too? Is, hey, go play, but keep this in mind too, that there's a realistic chance that you may not play for a very, very long time.
Correct. I'm sitting here counting how many athletes I've had who went on to college since
There's
I've been
been
coaching.
a lot
I think
lately.
I have 12.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Makes my job easier.
Yeah.
But every single one of them, I said, get your education first. Go to the school that is in your background. If it's physical therapy, if it's accounting, go to that school that's going to match your needs as an education-wise, and then let the sports happen after that.
Right.
And I've told Jill, all those baseball players. Now, I look back at that baseball team we had. I think 6 of them went to play college. I believe there's only 2 left that are playing right now. It's just they find out that it's work. It's just tough.
Right.
It's just tough. Now, my 4 senior girls that graduated from last year, I think they're still involved and participating, and so hopefully that continues. But they'll find out what you said. When they get to college level, it's just different. The work level, everything is different. They hate to say they own you. You kind of. If you're getting a scholarship, you pretty much are going to do what they want.
Yep.
And it is. They're paying you to go, so they want you to perform and react. But yes, every student I've had that's graduated went to college and went to sports, I'd stress so much, get your education first, please.
Well, that's what even like Coach Emerson and MIAA Media talking
Yeah.
about Jill.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to put pressure on freshmen. He doesn't like doing that because they're coming into a new
Yeah.
field, like you said, the classes, new schedule. Hearing stories of Jill being in the gym all the time,
Yeah.
so this probably wasn't a brand new schedule to her.
True.
But academic-wise, everything like that. But he said there's going to be a little bit of pressure on her, but at the same time, he understands the jump to high school to college. To me, some either coaches expect a lot of kids to know right away, be ready to go, and some coaches are really understanding, like
Sure.
Coach Emerson seems to be about it. But at the same time, it's almost the kids I go talk to or on the signing days, they all have a good grasp of either what this means or
Sure.
what they're going to go. I haven't really met a kid that's, this is my first step in going to Division I, or this is my big break. To me, a lot of them understand that this is an opportunity. Like you said, the baseball boys, 2 of them are still playing. The rest of them are. This is a good opportunity. We're going to see what happens with this. I'm going to take it, but I know this isn't the end-all, be-all that it
Right.
could be. To me, I haven't had too many athletes around here have that. This is the end-all, be-all. So in that aspect, I feel like either the parents or they've either figured out that I don't have a good shot here, and it's
Sure.
realistic. Like, I
Yeah.
don't have a good shot of,
But I appreciate them. They've all stayed in school
yeah,
instead of just dropping out. They've all stayed and still getting their degree. So that's the good part of it all.
right,
Plus, you look at the athletes who move away from home for the first time ever.
yeah,
That's a big adjustment too. I had 2 daughters that one went away. Well, they both went away. One thought she wanted to be away, was gone for a semester, and said, "No, this is horrible." So she got homesick and came back home. The other one stayed in Missouri State. But and we talk about these athletes, and the Lathrop girl, the pitcher, who was a fantastic high school athlete. All of a sudden, she says, "You know what? I'm done." It just shows. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a commitment again for another 4 years, and I don't know. Bless her little heart for making that decision, because I'm sure it was not easy. Now having a year off or so with most athletes, maybe a year off will help them kind of, refocus,
Yeah.
make it fun for them again. So we'll see. I hope all things will work out for that. But
because this almost goes back to the new school of thought of the type of kids you get. You either get the all buy-ins, or I was at one football practice this year. Won't say where, but it was at the end of practice, so everything was done. This wasn't during practice. 2 of the kids look at each other, and they're probably freshmen. They look pretty young, but
Okay.
now they all feel young to me at this point. And they're like, "Hey man, you gonna go play Fortnite, or what game are you gonna go play after this?" And I was like, because I had just talked to a couple coaches the day before, and I'm like, and they were having a number of issues with kids coming out. And they're like, they either don't want to play, there's the fear of football,
Yep.
or they're just, video games, everything else. And then they say that, and I'm like, we played Madden, we played
Yeah.
our fair share
Yeah.
of whatever it was, but there's that school of thought of, like you said, there's either the ones that are all bought in, they either stay in, they get burnt out, or you have this new group of, it's not as big of a deal
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were growing up, we played every sport. We may have been really bad. We were pretty bad in a couple of them.
Okay.
We weren't good. I think basketball won 5 games my senior
Yeah,
year.
okay.
We weren't very good. But, I mean, we played. We may have hated half the practices, but looking back, they were fun.
Yeah.
But now there's that new school of not even getting jobs. They're just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't really know where it's coming from, or just kind of like more independence, maybe? Or
Maybe
just kinda-
independent. Yeah. Or
I don't know.
entitlement gets thrown around too. But I don't know about independence. Maybe.
Yeah.
Again, I hate to say that work ethic has changed a lot.
Right. 'Cause, I mean, everything's easy now. We're doing this with a couple microphones,
Sure.
a camera, and a phone.
Yeah, it is easy.
Yeah.
Back when I was in high school, I'd go home and I'd put up hay or do something. I mean, we had to work even after. Now I don't know how much that is done now. I don't know. It's just a different student athlete now. And as coaches, I believe we have to kind of meet in the middle, because I think you'll butt heads if you don't. If you think you're going to stay that hard-nosed disciplinary like a Bobby Knight, I don't know if it's going to work for you in today's society. I might be wrong, and we'll see. I don't know.
How do you balance that back out? Because some kids, me and a couple others I know in high school, we responded. If a coach got in our face, we responded. We were angry,
Yeah?
but we fixed it. But there's some kids, if you yell at them, they're in the shell, they're gone. Like, you've lost them at least for that day, maybe the year, maybe forever.
First of all, find out how your student or your athlete reacts to criticism. Each one's different. There's one I can just get all over them and just yell, and they accept it. There's others, especially the girl side, sorry. If you do that to them, like you just said, they'll shut down, and you might as well forget them the rest of the practice. You got to know your individual players on how to react to them. I'm not a real go-off coach. Like I said, Monday's practice was horrible, but I stayed kind of calm, But they know when I blow my stack, they respond because they know, okay, he's serious.
Right.
You can act the act, but if you do it so much, they lose belief in you that he's just having another fit. Okay, it's not. It's just one of his things again. No, I'm patient, but when I go, they know I go, and you better get your butts back to where you be. I mean, that's just how I kind of coach
And
my philosophy.
you've noticed that basically kind of work because they know it's
Oh yeah,
go time.
Yeah, down when last year we played Ozark, and one of our better games. We had 20 turnovers the first half. I mean, we stunk, and a lot of those offensive rebounds. We were just not boxing out. And then halftime talk, we talked about boxing out. First 2 or 3 possessions, guess what we gave up? Offensive rebounds. I called a timeout, and everybody wanted to come off the bench like we do. Those 5, I said, oh, no, we're out here. And I just got in the middle, and we had a nice conversation. They understood that I was serious. Rest of the game was fine. Again, I just think if you constantly they're not going to believe you.
Right.
You know? Again, this is just my philosophy. I could be totally wrong, but I know how my teams react to me. So they know my breaking point. Or when if I have my whistle around my neck and all of a sudden I start sticking my mouth, they know something's about ready to happen. It's probably not good. I guess that's my cue. Baseball, we'd be taking infield. We're making errors, booting around. If I start tapping my bat,
They know
that the volcano's about ready to go. That's my mechanism of, okay, just calm down a little bit first. Kind of think it out. So that I have these cues, I guess you could say. But
I guess kind of winding down, just kind of, we haven't really talked about this year or more.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about any type of expectations.
Sure.
But, I mean, have you kind of felt the girls so far, or does there feel any pressure? Because, I mean, there can be. I mean, I'll ask the question to a lot of coaches and players in recorded settings of, do you feel pressure off last year? But to me, just knowing some of them in there, they either love it or they're not worried about it. In the sense of, yeah, we know what happened last year, but this is a new group.
Sure. Well, I'm glad you asked, because beginning of this year, a lot of the girls were volleyball and were very successful in softball, and they always say, hey, I better not say this too loud, but they'd say, can't wait to basketball. I said, finish your sport first. They need to be excited about basketball. But again, also, one of the first things I said in practice is one of our things is, you will hear me one time to look up at that banner and say, I will compare you. Because I won't. Because this is you. This isn't the 4 seniors that graduated. This is your team. So I don't make comparisons because it's not fair. As far as nerves, 9 of these girls, 9 or 10, have gone through the experience and played a lot of minutes. Expectations, I think I'm more worried than anybody, just because, this team has potential of being really good if injuries and we stay together. And I'm a big drama guy. I got to keep these together as a family. But they're pretty relaxed. They know what they want to achieve. We write out our goals. They wrote 20-plus wins, win the KCI tournament, win KCI conference, win the blonde tournament, win the districts. They've got their goal set. And last year we were 10 out of 10. I really believe we can do it again, and I think they believe. What my saying last year is, OMG, one more game. Well, actually, if you look at this, we still got one more game to go.
Right. And
so we'll see.
And there'll be teams where maybe you'll have them where they'll say the right things.
Yeah.
But they may not. But you'll know you're like, I'm not quite buying what you're.
Yeah.
But with this group, you kind of feel like what they're saying, what they're doing, all lines up to where this group can do something.
Yes. Again, you can't compare summer stuff. What we did this summer, we had a great summer. We played nothing but 4 and 5A schools, and we held our own. We held our own. We had one of the refs down the summer at Joplin. We were running up down the court, and he goes, "You guys, is this basketball or track?" He goes, "My gosh, it's just," and it's all of them. It's fun to watch them as a group. So far, everything's gone well. Our saying this year, on the back of our shirts, I'm a Sundance Wicks guy, I guess. I don't know. One of my sayings is, and I actually bounced this off of him. I was watching the ESPYs, and Jim Kelly got up there. He says, everyone can make a difference in life. And look at the guy, what he's gone through. He says, everyone can make a difference. So I'm thinking, MAD. So on the back of the shirts, on their shooting shirts, it's going to say, play mad. I want them to make a difference on and off the court, but also play mad, because there's people thinking out there that we only did this because our 4 seniors. You're not capable of doing what you did last year. So play mad. But also I want them to make a difference on and off the court. So we're doing things off the court, like the veterans, we bought them cards and stuff. We're going to try to do some things off the court to make a difference and, make them rounded girls. But I'm looking forward to this season. Again, I'm nervous. We played Kaufman, I think, here on the 20th, who's never played. I don't think they've played basketball before. But I'm sure you just don't know.
Right. And then you go to Columbia. They're in,
Yeah,
what,
December
2 weeks?
1st. Yeah,
2 weeks?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's against Mexico, and they're a 4A school too.
That's kind of a cool thing you guys are doing, is being a part of that 24-hour.
It is.
You guys are, what, the 10 p.m. game?
We're 8.
8, and the boys are 10, yeah.
Mhm. And then we go back down to Southwest Baptist and play Walnut Grove. We play Trenton at Benton. So we get to do a lot of traveling with this. So
Yeah.
it's fun. I don't know what's going. I think we'll be okay. We'll see what happens, and some of the others will step up. Will it be different without Jill? You bet it will. I'm
Right.
not going to lie to you, because that point guard that we always knew the ball is going to be taken care of. So, will we miss 20 points a game? Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But I really trust the girls that we have, the other 12 girls now. It will balance out. I think it's going to balance out where I think we still can get close to 60 points a game, just because the pace that we play and the athletes that we have. I don't know how much you're going to put on this, but I want people to try to play us man. I'm going to tell them good luck, because we got 5 girls that can play.
Has it always been your style, run and gun? Or has it just been once you had the player? Or is that what you've always wanted to do, but you need the players to do it?
The first couple of years, absolutely not. We didn't have the athletes to do this stuff. The first year we did the full court press, it looked like chaos out there. We had 4 girls on one sometimes, but they're so fast and athletic, man, they were running everywhere, and it just caused chaos. Girls were just panicking. Now in the last 2 years, we've got a little more structure to it, where there's a little more run and jump, and there's already 2-on-1. But you know what? As a coach, they almost do this on their own now. It's almost an inert thing that they just do,
Really?
without even me telling them. Now, on the flip side of that, not trying to be, we can be up by 20-some points, and I'm telling back, but they're still pressing full court. It's just in their mind
What they
that
do, yeah.
we pick up, make or miss, no matter what. So I'm telling them to get back, and they're still like little piranhas up there. I'm like,
Going.
back. That's just the way we play. Chris, if we don't do that, our average size is 5'6".
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to have to make it a track meet.
Yeah, we have to. We other teams that has the 5'10s, will struggle against. And I asked one of the conference coaches, I said, if you're going to beat us, how would you do it? She goes, put you in a half-court offense and make you work. Because anything else, we're not going to be successful at, because you just run and you play good defense. But make you run offensive sets. I said, okay, fair enough. So guess what I'm doing this year? We put some more offensive sets in
Right.
to be ready for what may happen. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll look forward to it. But, yes, most people play us zone.
And then one final question.
Yes, sir.
You brought it up about expectations. I wasn't here in March, but I think I talked to you at a softball game in September or something about the expectations,
Yeah.
because you talked about it. You said it. You lose those 4 seniors, what happened? I mean, people know it's coming back, but you lose those 4 seniors. Is this group driven by the fact that we want to prove that we like them, but
Most definitely.
we want to say we can do this without them? We're not taking a step back. We're not taking a step down. We're not worse. We can do this too.
I got 8 seniors. Trust me, that's in the back of their mind. They want to prove this, that, okay, they're part of this, but we're going to do this too. And they have that belief that they want to prove it also. And that's what drives them. They don't want to be that team. We've luckily enough won the conference tournament 3 or 4 years in a row, no blonde. They don't want to be that team that be the one that loses it. Will lose that consistency.
Right.
Yeah, but again, 8 seniors. First time I ever had 8 seniors on a basketball team. This is going to be unique for me, especially on senior night. That could be interesting. I don't know if there'll be enough Kleenexes, but yeah. But I don't know what's going to happen.
That makes it exciting, though, doesn't it? Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
Like they have expectations. You know the talent level. They can do it
Yes.
again, but things have to fall into place injury-wise.
Injuries, yeah.
And just everybody bonding.
Last year we had 13 girls that could play 13. I mean, we could play 13 and not drop off. Okay, we have a good 11 this year. That's going to give us minutes, but not maybe the minutes that we could get out of the other group. These girls work hard and they've bought in, and they're also, if they can give me 2 or 3 minutes a game, this 11th and 10th girl, that's all I need. Okay,
Right.
to give my varsity or the starters a little break. We're just not as deep this year, but I think with these girls practicing with the upper girls, they're learning the ethics, and I think they're going to be very beneficial for us to help us out again. I hope.
You guys kick off the season next Tuesday?
The 20th, yeah, here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right around the corner.
it is. We have our jamboree here Friday.
Friday.
Jefferson, Cameron, and South Nottoway. So we'll see what happens. It would be nice to get away from each other for a while and quit beating each other up because the girls are getting a little complacent.
That happens, doesn't it?
Oh
Just
gosh,
you're
yes,
just
this time of
beating each other
year,
up.
it's about our second 2 weeks and a half. But you run your offensive sets, and the defense knows what you're doing, and they cheat, and it just gets to the point.
Yeah.
It's monotonous. It is.
Yeah.
So we're looking for that next thing to get us out of this little ditch here, and hopefully motivate us again. And it's hard to keep these girls motivated in practice and competitive. I've had to be kind of creative on some new stuff to keep them competitive, because it's tough sometimes because
Right.
they're successful, but I don't want them to be complacent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've came up with some competitive drills to kind of keep their little fire stoked a little bit. So, but I'm always looking for new stuff, new drills, new people, new coaches to work with and learn from. And I went to Missouri Western, Rob Evanson's women's clinic, and I picked up, 3 or 4 great things from him. So, in their clinic, again, I've only done this 8 years, and I don't know, I'm pretty blessed.
Well, I do appreciate you taking time out
Yes, sir,
today to
Chris,
do this.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Coach.
sir. Appreciate it.